Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks, and let's talk about the AFC North. Okay, first let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not really done that much in the offseason. They released cornerback William Gay to the Giants. A couple people on free agency, Mike Mitchell, Robert Golden. Some small trades here and there. Nothing that really stands out. I mean, this team is complete pretty much with the Roethlisberger, Brown, and Bell combination. Better than anybody else in their division by far. That is why they stand out so much, and most people pick this team to win the division every year. They won it the last 3 years in a row. A couple things in the news with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger got hit in practice. Was on concussion protocol for a little bit. Nothing too serious. They also had weight issues in the off season, so they put him on a special diet. His knees were also hurting from this excessive weight as well. Antonio Brown missed 4 days of practice, at the beginning of the season, before preseason started. He also had a problem with his right hip and a quad strain. So these guys are, feeling some pain. Le'Veon Bell might not play next year. A lot of bet odds are the Colts and the Jets. He is the second paid running back in the NFL. So watch out for that trade. That should go on next year. So he might have a standout season because it's a contract season. But we'll wait and see for that to happen. And let's look at the numbers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 11-1 to win the Super Bowl. It's still not too bad, The win total is 10.5. Last year they went 13-3. And their strength of schedule is pretty low. It's only at 25, 32 teams. So actually, they should have an easy schedule. And the win totals at 10.5. They swept their division last year, 6-0. So I'm saying I would pick Pittsburgh to win this division over 10, so 11 or more, because the strength of schedule is low, and the competition in their division is pretty easy. Next, we have the Baltimore Ravens. This is Joe Flacco's contract year. Last time he had a contract year, he won the Super Bowl, just to keep that in mind. So I expect him to play pretty well this season. The biggest news of the Ravens is RG3 signing. He's a free agent. Last he played in 2016 with the Browns. And he's been playing pretty much most of the preseason as well. As for the Ravens, they haven't did too much. Just like the Steelers, not too much. This whole division is pretty quiet. Let's see, they released cornerback Ladarius Webb. He's 32. They released Danny Woodhead. Oh yeah, he retired. And let's see, they released wide receiver Jeremy Maclin. He's a free agent as well. They did sign Michael Crabtree from Oakland. And who else did they get? They got John Brown from Arizona. So they got a couple good wide receivers to help out Flacco in the offseason. The only injury I've seen on their reports is a tight end, Max Williams, that had an ankle sprain. Pretty quiet. Flacco got a couple new receivers, looking good. We'll see how it happens. It's a contract year. Do or die, see how well he'll do. Looking at the numbers, we got the Ravens 40-1 to win the Super Bowl, and the win total is 8. Last year they went 9-7, and the strength of schedule is pretty easy. 21 division they went 3-3, but like I said, I'm not a Flacco believer. If I were to say, yeah, they got a couple good receivers to help out Flacco, but something happens to Flacco, or he doesn't do well. Like I said, he didn't do well that last year, but he did get 9-7. But I'm gonna say, under, because like I said, the Steelers swept the division. They only went 3-3. They did beat out Bengals and Browns. I just not a Flacco believer. That's my honest opinion. I don't see him getting better than 8-8. So I'd say under on this one. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the most quiet teams in the NFL. Head coach Marvin Lewis is pretty much his last chance with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, 30 years old. He's got a few good years left in him, but Marvin Lewis, I'm surprised he got to keep his job. Literally, I mean, he did so bad in the last few years. Last year they got 7-9, but they still got the AJ Green as well. And they did re-sign their tight end, Tyler Eifert. He's actually one of the better tight ends in the league. It's just Andy Dalton's just not that good. They released also. They got their backup quarterback, which gets traded as well. And they signed Matt Barkley as a 2-year contract to back up Dalton. So we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, the same old Bengals, the Bungles, a lot of people say. But like I said, since a couple of jobs are on the line, the head coach and Andy Dalton, I think that they got it at 6.5 for win totals. 101 to win Super Bowl. That's not going to happen, but win totals 6.5, which I think they might squeak out another 7-game win this season this year. They're 29th, almost near the dead last of strength of schedule. So they have an easy schedule throughout the season. The divisions got 3-3, so I'm going to tell you, take over on this one, just because I think they're going to win 7 games. I don't know if they might get 8, but it's going to be a close call. But solely because the head coach, the job's on the line, it's do or die. They might win 7 or 8 games. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns, the most talked about team in the division. They pretty much released everybody and signed everybody. They got so many different changes on here. I'm not even gonna list them all. There's so many. Some of the biggest trades that they did do, they got the Bills' old quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, he's not a tall guy, but he's a good running quarterback. But I've seen Browns with good running quarterbacks before, and just didn't cut the mustard. They did get rid of their last year's quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser. He went to Green Bay, and they strengthened their defense with Darmarius Randall. Some of the quick other things: Josh Gordon, the wide receiver. They did pick up Carlos Hyde, running back. He's 27, got a few years left in him. And Darren Fells, the tight end. He actually, Fells took over tight end when Ebron was doing that, all those drops and everything. And actually, he looked pretty good, but he's 32. But he still had good hands on him, so I wish the best for him. It's pretty much a new team, Big question mark at quarterback. How good is Tyrod Taylor going to do? A coach who's pretty much won 1 game in 2 years. How much would you bet on this? They haven't won a division since the 2002 realignment. Looking at the odds, a lot of people have, put some money on the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns win Super Bowl. It's a long shot. Because, like I said, it's a brand new team. You just don't know what they're going to do. The win total's at 5.5. Last year they went 0-16. Strength of schedule's 5th. They got a 5th strength of schedule. In division they went 0-6. And so since that strength of schedule is at 5, I'm going to take the under. 5.5 wins. Just because their strength of schedule is so tough. It's hard to believe they got the bad end of the stick when it comes to the schedule, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So that's it for the video. I appreciate you listening. Like and subscribe. And a couple more videos left before the season starts. Stay tuned as my prediction videos in the NFL starts next week's football season. See you next week. Peace. IPTV service with over 2,000 channels, HD and 4K, VOD, PPV, and the Sunday Ticket. 24/7 channels and so much more. All this starting at $10 a month. Go to KStreams.info for more information and sign up.